Saturday saw Bournemouth stop the rot somewhat with an impressive and much-needed point against Chelsea, who, let's face it, weren't at their best. But whilst they may have been a little bit under par, we probably need to give ourselves a little bit of credit too for the expert way that we handled them. Bournemouth are currently 7 points clear of the drop zone and 7 points below fourth place. This is the epitome of mid-table. Tom, our philosophy on this channel is to work smarter and not harder. So we did our fan cams. I put together an 8-minute vlog. And this second look might be a little bit shorter, but there are a few conversations to be had, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I think there's still a lot to talk about. It was nice to see an improved performance, etc., etc. But listen, it was 0-0 and neither keeper was overly worked. So probably help us dive into some other bits. I mean, I think the one that's been glaring for a long time is Andoni Iraola.
Yeah.
We just want him to side.
Okay, let's check out the league table then. And AFC Bournemouth are in 13th position. Look, that little grey D, mate. It was important to stop the rot somewhat, wasn't it? And look, when you think, oh, this is a crisis, look, our 5 defeats have all been to teams in the top 8. So it's not the end of the world. And actually, when you look at the run that we've been on recently, including losing to Villa, they're 3rd, Manchester City, they're 2nd, and also Everton as well, who are 5th. It's not so bad. And that point against a side that has been good all season, maybe dropped off a little bit recently, it can't be underestimated.
No, it can't. It is a big point. And like you say, kind of stopping that rot somewhat. I think, yeah, I mean, listen, if you look at the points, it's so close. My frustration, because when you look at a league table, you go, you know, we're 3 points off Europe. I mean, it's just absolutely mad. I mean, Liverpool are just having a bit of a joke season, are like 1 win away from top 4. I mean, my frustrating thing is bloody that Villa game, because 4-0. Yeah. Because that would, you know, we got -3. Yeah. And the goal difference would have been, we'd be close with everyone. So that's frustrating. But yeah, it was a big point. It was a big point. And yeah, there's still teams that look like they were back, like Fulham and Brentford, and we're above them. I still think we're fine. But yeah, it's very, very tight. I mean, how have Everton snuck up there out of nowhere? Did not feel the case. But yeah, so it'll be up and down all season, mate.
So Andoni Iraola then, I think this weekend shows how lucky we are in having him at the helm. This probably presents a good chance to actually check out the team that he put out, because this conversation that we're about to have now probably leans into exactly what we are saying. You called it, mate. How it's shown on screen is not how the lineup transpired. This is from our lineup website, but Jimenez was actually playing on the right wing, wasn't he?
Yeah, called that. I've never had so many messages before when the team news were out, because
did you?
I think it was because I just threw in a really random. He's never played that for us, so I just put in a random shout that. I just felt, if you're going to do it for a game as well, you know, Cucurella likes to get forward. You know, you're putting on a player that is used to be playing at the back with Smithy. That combines it, but also the fact that, we both said it in the last game against Everton, he showed so much promise going forward. He was probably one of our better players going forward, but he had a bit of a lapse at the back. You got Smithy there, perfect, just put him in front. And with the players we've got out in wide positions, so yeah, again, Iraola utilising someone out of position and it working.
So all I'm saying is, I know AFC Bournemouth are supposed to have a succession plan. Are you part of that plan?
I can't possibly comment. Wouldn't be right to. But no, it was a good gamble, but I felt it was a gamble that wasn't too risky. You know, if it didn't work, you've got Brooksy and that available. And also, even though he's done that before this season, we haven't really seemed to have in that role.
That's right. Again,
Iraola, because, I mean, yeah, we're so lucky that our gaffer seems to be able to do that, because, Alex Scott's the only natural centre midfield player we have available in this game. So, yeah, and he put Tam in there and we looked all right for it.
It felt like mentally we should have been on the floor, really. I mean, after the manner of our performance, and then, you know, the whole Tavernier thing, all that kind of stuff, it just felt like a very unhappy camp. But, you know, that's the thing we've got with Iraola, a manager that is absolutely capable of lifting them and then helping them put in a really good performance. And, you know what, I thought that most of the players on that pitch, I thought, did okay. There are some that did better than others. We need to talk about it. We'll just mention Jimenez quickly, because I think he had a slowish start, but as the game went on, he made that position look like his own almost. I mean, it was a really good showing for him and really physical. Yeah. I thought he was excellent, very tidy.
Yeah, he was very good. I think technically he's clearly a good footballer. He's definitely got a nice little edge about him, which is why he's on 4 yellows. It's why he's on the tightrope. Fortunately, he didn't get his 5th. But he's got a nice little edge about him where I think, He wants to go and, sometimes you get a youngster that's, he's not the biggest guy in the world. You wonder if he'll shy away from that side of it, but he doesn't. So I like that about him, a nice little bit of bite.
And he helped to keep Cucurella quite quiet as well.
Kept Cucurella very, very quiet. As much as a lot of people don't like the guy, he is one of the best left backs in the league.
Very good, yeah.
Didn't really remember him doing anything.
No, I didn't.
And that's really impressive from us. He managed to pin him back quite well. Just think the only thing at the moment is, and I wonder if that will just come a little bit. You got to remember, he didn't really have pre-season with us. He come late in the window. He gets to an hour and he looks dead.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if it's where I was sat by the North, because he was on that right side as well. The amount of times he got on a run across and then he's just like, and you're like, and so I knew he was coming off. Yeah. And maybe that's something that will come. We've had that with a few players, haven't we, where they can only make a certain time, and he is putting a shift in. But yeah, really, and again, I love him I think he's going to be a really good right back. And it's the first time, no disrespect to any of the others, Max Aarons, Julian Araujo, Ryan Fredericks, all them sort of players. He's the first time that because Smith will go at some point, by the way. It might even be when he's 40, but when he does, it's the first time I thought, I think we got someone here. Yeah. Rather than having to panic for a replacement, because I think he's a very good age as well. So, yeah, but the option to be able to put him on the wing as well is really exciting. I know he's played on the left side before, left back, so he's got a bit of versatility there, which is good and needed, obviously, when you get the injuries that we tend to always get. But yeah, liked his performance, mate. Was pleased with how he did out there, like I say, in a position that we haven't seen him before.
So, credit to the players, but credit to Andoni for putting all this together. Sometimes I feel like it's an episode of Ready, Steady, Cook where you've just got random ingredients like a bit of broccoli, a bit of leek, some leftover ratatouille, some old eggs, some half-eaten bacon or whatever, and somehow you rustle up this unbelievable dish. And you know what? We were good. We were absolutely good. I was really pleased with the performance. And once again, our concern is over the future of Andoni Iraola. And I know there are some people that probably don't like us talking about it. So just maybe skip forward if you don't want to hear this bit of the conversation. But we need to talk about his contract situation because it is so bizarre. Well, in the Premier League it is.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the greatest managers our club's had.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's going to happen in 6 months' time. We're basically on a countdown.
Well, currently we do. He's gone. Because he hasn't signed anything.
Yeah.
And it's very strange. We've heard a lot of snippets from, I think it was not only Bill Foley, but also Thiago Pinto as well, which is basically saying, we want him here.
Yeah.
So Bill's come over a few times. The fact that nothing's been signed concerns me.
Yeah, massively. And so surely, if the worst could happen and he does decide not to renew, we must be surely priming our next manager already.
Yeah, I like to think the succession plan would be already have been thought about a little bit.
And almost tapping him up now. I mean, not tapping up because you can't do that, but you know what I mean? Having informal conversations.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, there's always moving parts, isn't there? Sometimes, you've got a succession plan, but then when it comes around, that guy isn't available. We've already spoke about Iraola himself, that it was our chance to get him, so we went and got him. The club weren't necessarily bothered about. They were happy to give O'Neill a bit more time, but it was like, he's here now. We might not again have a chance. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what the available options are.
I mean, this doesn't happen much in the Premier League, does it? Because when you hear about managers extending, usually that's with time to spare. But I know Andoni himself says, I don't usually work like this. And I'm getting a bit tired of hearing those constant brush-offs. It's a conversation that surely we need to be having more. This is maybe not alien to him, but it's alien to us as Premier League fans. But then I appreciate we've got to dance to his tune because he is the asset for us. I mean, I was looking through his history, even at Vallecano, he committed to another season as late as May, like one fixture before that season was out. So it could happen again, but it's just, I don't know, like if the club know his decision, there's no way they'd be holding it back to the end of the season. They'd surely just announce it. Yeah. So maybe they don't know. So maybe we do need to be thinking ahead already, and I'm sure we probably are.
Yeah, I would have thought so, mate. And also the other thing is always when you briefly mentioned at the start about kind of the January window, and then also players that might be looking like, am I staying? Or Senesi we mentioned with contracts. Surely they're going to go, what is this guy going to say?
But then, like you sort of said, to caveat your own point, like maybe the whole thing from the club is, you're playing in this system. It doesn't matter who the manager is going to be, because the next person that's going to come in is going to do exactly the same thing. But, people are important.
Yeah, of
and
course,
personalities are important, right?
Yeah.
And
So
you want to
maybe,
know who you're playing for. I know that there's a star and all this kind of stuff, but there are personal relationships to be had here, and you want to know who you're going to be playing under.
Yeah, so maybe that's more of a case of maybe new incoming potential players. It is more about this is our style, whatever, and that would be easier for them to get on board with. I'm thinking more down the kind of like Celeste's
the existing players,
because he knows what he gets from Andoni. And listen, you've got to talk about. I mean, sure we'll come onto it because of how good he was, but Senesi as a defender. He's not the best in the world. He's good, but he's so good because of how he brings it out. Blah blah blah. We all know what Senesi gives you. He might be thinking, Andoni loves me as this sort of player. A new gaffer might come in and not want his defender to be like that. Want him to be a little bit more, man to man, get rid. So he might be thinking, I can't sign unless I know. We don't know the situation, mate. The thing that Senesi's agent after that performance of the weekend would be going, happy days.
Yeah.
He'll just go, don't sign anything. I don't blame Mark because it's our fault for letting his contract go to this point. If I'm Senesi, I'm going, I hold all the cards.
And this is probably one of the first times that we can all see it, how important he is. Because however you want to look at it, that performance was so much better. Yes, we scored early doors and we know it was ruled out. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but we were getting shots away. It wasn't all action, but like I said earlier, for a team that was severely wounded and disjointed after that game against the Toffees, it was so much better. Marcus Senesi is a huge part of that. Why, Tom? Why is he important?
He's just.
What does he do?
Well, we didn't obviously have a full-on, fortunate second look after the Everton game, but we did.
Thank God.
Yeah, but we did do about it, and I remember saying in it, I don't know word for word, that I appreciate that everyone said Diakite and Milo played well defensively, but I couldn't help but thinking when I was watching the game, you don't realise how good Celeste is till he's not there because it was so much slower.
Yeah.
Because he gets the ball, he drives you up the pitch, he gets you to halfway, he picks the pass, he's always progressive with his passes. He's a lot of people would say, because when he makes an error, you go, God, he takes so many gambles for a centre-back. But when it comes off...
And not every pass is perfect.
No, but what I'm saying is he never gets it and you think he's just going to recycle the ball. He's going to get it, he's looking up. Every time he's looking up. And this is I'm not trying to have a go at people like Baffo or Milo. They're just a bit more safer and will just want to knock the ball around. And maybe they feel, I know my limits, I can't do that. I'd rather if they believe they can't play like that, then don't.
Yeah,
but even when James Hill come on for what? He didn't come on for that long. He was absolutely fine defensively, but suddenly we didn't have the options when he had the ball.
And what I like about Marcus, it's not just the typical passes that he tries to do. I mean, he can do any type of pass. He can do the balls over the top. He can spread it left. He can spread it right. Also, the perpendicular passes straight forward into the feet of the striker that it did many a times, and many a time. They came off for him. We'll have some passing stats later, I'm absolutely certain, which highlights how good he is. But so that must be hard to play against. But it's just how calm he looks as well.
It's the calmness, and it's every time he gets it. If you kind of look at the back four, when he gets the ball, say off the goalkeeper, and you can imagine what the setup's like we've got a goal kick and it's gone to Celeste. He looks like he's got more time than when anyone else gets it. So when Diakite gets it, or Smith gets it, or Trafford gets it, it's like one touch, they need to, come on, play it. Celeste seems to get it, and then if the player's there, he's just kind of looking, go away, and he just seems, it was brilliant to see him in back like that, and even what happened nearer the end where he obviously come off injured, that tackle was an unbelievable tackle.
Yeah, it was a really good tackle.
So it sounds like, just diving into that a little bit, that it was kind of, he was feeling his quad and a few little, crampy issues and stuff, and hopefully it's not too serious. Because I was at the time, man, that looked like a hamstring to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, that's a while out, and that's a busy Christmas period. So hopefully he'll be okay, because you just saw what he brought. And I think we said this probably in the last show, actually, that it's that thing again where if Diakite goes out, you go, okay, I know he's injured at the moment, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, we've got Milo to come in, that's okay. Okay, if they're both out, okay, we've got James Hill, that's okay. But when Celeste's out, you go, we haven't got a player like it. It's always say we've got another centre half, but they're not like Senesi.
I mean, I know we've not got him for one more game, but does this maybe Lewis Cook, like a person who can do that? I mean, he did it well towards the end of the game.
I think it's always going to be something that happens in game if you're chasing.
Really?
A game. I don't see, if you can imagine you're playing something and it's a really even game like that, he's not centre back.
You want ultimately defenders who are defenders until you maybe need that vision.
Yeah, of course. But there will be, he's done it a couple of times anyway, and there will be games where I'm sure Lewis Cook will play there. It's probably a weird one as well. We don't have, sometimes you have full-backs that can play centre-backs. I remember we obviously had Lloyd Kelly that could always tuck in if you needed him to. Doesn't feel like, Smith could do it in a 3. But in a 2, I don't see Smith, Soler, Trafford, I don't see any of them being able to play it. And he hasn't really done it, but could Adams do it? Even when we used to have Lermy, you think he's dropping. It's a bit of an issue, but like I say, Celeste just proved his class, mate. He was absolutely brilliant. The only disappointing thing is every time he does something good, I think, I just want to celebrate, and then everyone starts singing
Hey, look, we got to come up with a chance to counteract that.
We had a few, and I can't remember what time it is. I was chatting to Brad in the pub after.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, the only problem with this special, I'll say it first.
Or it doesn't rhyme.
And he said, it's the worst chant ever.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, we need to get another one. He goes, we've got a few. It's like, he said, even Marco Sonetti is better than that.
Okay.
Well, terrible, mate.
I want to talk about the atmosphere later on, by the way, because I'm really not happy with how it is. It was better than Everton. But look, we just took a brief look there at the shots chalkboard. It was certainly better. Bournemouth were getting away more shots. But if you take out the shots that Semenyo had, that's a significant chunk of our attacking armoury. So you just wonder, Tom, and this is one of your points that you wanted to bring up on the second look, where will our goals come from if Semenyo does go? Probably when he does go.
Yeah, it's one of them things that hopefully, obviously, we'd bring someone else in, but obviously, hopefully you're hoping that when players like that come out, other people step up. Yeah. We've said that loads of times. I mean, there was a time where, Evan Nilsson was scoring for us, scored a few goals for us last season, and Tav was pitching up, and we had a few different players, and then we didn't have any strikers, and we didn't have any players, and someone else should step up. And Dango even had like a few little.
Yeah, he did.
You just hope that other players step up, don't you? I mean, the reason this is a conversation is because I also think that the one that got the goals last season, Cliver, is not the same player for whatever reason, and Ever's having a bad spell. So you hope that them forms will change, particularly Ever. You hope that it'll go full circle a little bit because. I know we never bought him in thinking he's going to be prolific. But last season, I think he broke his ankle, was out for months. He still got double figures.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
In his first ever season in England. Yeah. So, and a few of them, I'm not saying he was having that, but a few of his finishes last season were really good finishes. He's having one at the moment. And as you mentioned about the offsides, mate, it's almost like he thinks, he doesn't trust himself at the moment. He needs to try and gamble and just get like a little... I actually think, I'm sure we'll go on to it, the one that everyone's talking about where he kind of slid in.
I think that's hard.
I think he's done so well to get on the end of that.
Mate, look, this is one thing that we'll talk about the offside. We'll just talk about Semenyo because he had a shot into the side netting towards the end of the half. He had the goal that was obviously disallowed, and then he had a couple of efforts in the second half as well. And that one that you mentioned, that was in the first half where low and the pace of his shot, and then Sanchez just got a hand on it.
Yeah.
I thought that Evan Nilsson had no right to even get on it. So to be that alert to even get there, I thought that was really difficult. There's some people that I'm seeing saying, my nan could have scored that. I don't reckon she could have.
That's like one flexible nan. But also, I think it's just an easy. I appreciate it because he's not on it at the moment. It was just an easy thing because I saw. A lot of people were messaging me that weren't watching the game,
right? But
they were just hearing off social media that Evan Nilsson's missed an open goal.
No,
that's not fair. That's not fair. He's had a lot more recently that have been worse than that. That wasn't. Like you say, mate, I thought he'd done really well to get on the end of it. And I like that you can never. The thing with certain players, we've said a little bit like, Clive sometimes who are absolute adore, by the way.
Yeah.
Probably little bits were better than his previous game, but sometimes I think. He doesn't look like he'd be arsed. You said about Bennett, and it's not always correct. I'm just saying what the eyes tell you. I never think that with Ever. That's the only thing I'll give him. I never think that with Ever.
Do you remember that one in the summer series against West Ham?
What, the Ever? Oh, geez,
he missed a sitter in that, didn't he?
Absolute sitter. Did he hit the post?
Yeah, it came off the outside.
That was an open goal.
Oh my God, that probably didn't set a good precedent. But when we did have the ball in the back of the net, it was obviously ruled out for offside. Who was offside?
Evan Nilsson, wasn't he?
So, I mean, some really good work. I think Clivert was part of it, but then offside again.
I know.
Nilsson, what? And has that been him now?
Yeah,
3 times in a row offside.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been him every time.
No.
Which is a real shame. But yeah, listen, it was horrible, but it was enough before the goal that I kind of. It's weird because I've looked at it back and I go, oh, it's quite close. But when I was watching it, I was like, it was miles. Everyone was celebrating. I didn't celebrate.
I couldn't celebrate.
No, I was like, well.
You'll see that from the vlog. I instantly thought, like, this can't be right.
No, I thought it was clearly offside. And did the line no flag in the end?
No, he didn't. No, because it had to go to VAR.
What are the...
Is it... So, look... But
so I can see it from the opposite stand, right? What are these blokes getting?
So is this just him being a bit, over enthusiastic in trying to sort out this terrible goal scoring run he's on at the moment or something? Because it's
maybe because he's not. I've never really known him for last season being offside and stuff. He normally, because he drops off a lot, he's not normally there. But I think it's just you can overanalyze kind of him being offside quite a lot. I mean, he's now the most in the Premier League.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's got 13 now. 13 offsides. So he is top for that, and you can Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if it carries on, you start looking into it a bit more deal. At the moment, I just think he's having one at the moment, and it's just typical. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it just seems like that's what's happening.
If a player has those figures of being offside that many times, you would think his goal tally would be amazing because he's always on the shoulder of the defender.
Yeah, but what's weird is he's never always on the shoulder of the defender. He drops deep. There was one in the, sorry if you're going to go on to him, there was one in the second half where we just, I don't know if it was Jimenez actually, just put a ball in the box, really good ball, and Ever's on the edge of the box.
It's like,
and you go, oh, so how's he offside all the time? Because he's not in there enough.
Just find some balance.
Yeah, he's finding it difficult to get the balance at the moment. It'll be really interesting. I mean, he's dropped him out a couple of times, but it'd be interesting to see if he keeps persisting with Ever and goes, look, we love what you bring to the side, the goals will come, or if he goes, you're not doing it, and I've got someone sat on the bench in Krupi who's shown that he can put the ball in the net, or / I've got a player in Unal that hasn't been given much of an opportunity yet.
True.
It depends how Andoni sees it, and I'm sure whatever Andoni does will be the right decision.
Well, getting back into the logistics of the game, it was so clear this was a different side compared to the team that came out on the Tuesday night. More tempo, more desire, more fight. More noise as well from the crowd as well, which certainly helped. Senesi was having a really good physical battle with Delap. I thought that he was over physical sometimes, Delap, a little bit too much, but...
Ended up getting him injured, didn't it?
Yeah. I think he dislocated his shoulder, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, I spoke to Rich about that because I think Rich was getting like sympathy pains from the shoulder popping out. But I believe, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's had that recently.
Oh, really?
So it's probably one of them things. It's the type of player he is, though. He's probably going to get them. So he is tries to be a bit of a bully ball striker. Yeah. I love that Celestia went, just get away. Yeah. He had him every time. I thought he had him every single time.
And, whilst we're talking about Chelsea, I was quite underwhelmed by them. But does that take anything away from our performance somewhat? Because they were pretty poor. They grew into it in the second half, and look, they've got a bench that was going to worry me. They've got a historical record, especially in the last game, of scoring late as well. So that concerned me a little bit. But really, there was nothing to worry about all game, really.
No, I was surprised. I was surprised that our people like Pedro Neto and Garnacho on the wings didn't cause us a few more problems. I thought
Garnacho's terrible.
And you think of, I mean, we were saying it briefly beforehand, but we didn't want to jinx it. But Garnacho is playing against an ageing fullback in Adam Smith who's had injuries this season, and he didn't beat him once, did he? I mean, Smith was just like, it was easy for him, and I thought that every time we played Garnacho, really. But Neto, I really rate Pedro Neto, and maybe it's, like I say, with everything you go, maybe Neto had an off day, but equally, credit to Trevor. Yeah, I think it's like that the whole game, really. They would have wanted to be a little bit better. But it wasn't like we were incredible. The whole game, I thought we just managed it perfectly. And how, I didn't know if you want to get onto the midfield yet, but the fact that we've got Alex Scott and Tavernier have never started a game as a pair. And yes, Clivert's in front of them, but Clivert's not a central midfielder. So you've got Alex Scott and Tavernier. Obviously, you've got Palmer dropping in all these pockets. Then you've got Enzo Fernandez, who's like an elite footballer, and then Reece James, who's one of England's better players in that midfield. He's quite a beast as well. Just thought they handled him so well. Tav was normal, energetic, just makes it doesn't give him any time on the ball, etc., etc. But Alex Scott, by the way,
he was a lot better. Driving runs forward, I love that from him. Quick feet.
There was one where I thought he should get shot off as well. It was a really good tackle. Yeah. But in general, just every time he got the ball, what I liked about him in that role was he'd go and get the ball. Whereas I think because when he's there with Adams, he has to go further up. Yeah. He probably doesn't get it in the areas he wants. But I thought he absolutely used class. I thought, you look at them, the midfielders on the pitch, I thought he was the best by far.
That's one thing that we were missing from the midweek game. A midfielder, well, obviously a defender as well, but just driving forward with the ball. Yeah. And we absolutely missed that. So to have both Senesi doing it and also Alex Scott as well, it just completely enhanced our game massively. You can see from the heat maps how much better we were. You haven't got any red in our own area where we were just recycling the ball in that kind of horseshoe shape to each other. Our hot spots were in their half somewhat. I think Iraola will be a little bit happier with that. You wanted to talk about Michael Oliver quickly.
Did I?
Well, you weren't happy with him?
No, I think Chelsea should be. They were. I mean,
you even tweeted about him, didn't you?
I think I briefly put it in there. But no, they were without. Obviously, their one they were without. I mean, I've got a few out, but the main one was obviously Moises Caicedo. He was kind of their enforcer in midfield. Yeah. Obviously, we were missing ours as well. But Caicedo's one of the best midfielders in the league, and just very good at intercepting when you're trying to break away. Yeah. They didn't need him because they had Michael Oliver in there. There was one where he's almost like back-heeled it in the air. When we knocked it past him, but it's barely touched him, and then Scott's running through, and we have to stop it.
And there was no other Chelsea player around, so it was our. We had possession. We had possession afterwards. It was fine. Just carry on.
But no, we had to go back and then play it backwards because we had no choice. And then there was one moment where they were allowed an advantage, and then there was one where we played a lovely little quick free kick. The ref right next to them. And they just stopped it and brought it back as soon as we were onto them. I just thought, why do they have to get involved? Because there was nothing major in the game. He could have gone slightly unnoticed, just doing his job, and everyone would have gone, yeah, he was fine. He has to make it about him.
We didn't get a yellow card from him, though. We'll take that.
Yeah, yes, but did they get any? I can't remember it being... but it wasn't that sort of game anyway. I just mean, it was just horrible that every time we tried to kind of break on... Oh, yeah, they got a few at the end, didn't they? Neto, remember, got one because I got one FPL and it cost me a point. But yeah, no, I think, joking aside, there wasn't anything major for him to do. I don't think he got any major things wrong. But them couple of things were just really annoying when we finally looked like we were getting in on them.
Full time then, players slumped to the floor. An absolute shift that they put in. And the players obviously showing their appreciation to the crowd. Nearly everyone.
When I was clapping the players and looking and he was just stood down the halfway line, there was a chorus of Marcus Tavernier chant. So I thought, here we go. Didn't. And he just walked down the tunnel. And we were talking, I think it was Rich and I were talking before the game. So all he needs to do here, the players run out, when they come out of the tunnel, start the game, just run over, give it a bit of that to the North Stand. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it at Newland on 10 if you want, but do it at the North Stand, really. But yeah, something's not right there. You don't know what his character is off the pitch. Maybe there's a little bit of because I refuse to believe it's because when he got the ball once, there was no support, people went, oh, it can't be that. No. That can't be why he's just suddenly not clapping or anything. It's weird. But yeah, apart from that, I thought his performance, at least he didn't stop his performance. I thought he done well in that role in midfield, to be fair. It'll be really interesting to see what we do at Man United. Obviously, it's away yet, but with Adams back. Smithy, obviously. I think we've said it about Senesi, but I think you forget how good Adam Smith is. I think we've done, considering how many knocks he's had and we've had to play Cook there, Hill there, him and us there, I think we've coped really well because when you see him, you go, it's not just about what he gives you as a footballer, which he's a very talented footballer. It's just that what he's done really well is I remember when he first comes to the club, obviously like 50 years ago, whatever it was, he was a bit Jimenez like.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
The way he's managed to now be like the leader, the experienced head, it's like he's talking to him. I just think he deserves credit because he's probably gone through a career where he doesn't really get any headlines. True. So I think he definitely deserves that, mate.
I think James Hill, obviously we've spoken about him defensively, did everything he needed to. The other subs were ineffective. I thought David Brooks, Amin Adli. David Brooks has got credit in the bank, I think. Yeah. Amin Adli is still needing to impress us. Unai got very few minutes, so it's very difficult to comment on him.
I just wanted one ball in the box for Unai, one free kick.
But Adli, I don't know what it is about him. It's just not happening just yet.
No, it's very early, like I say, and hopefully there's a few little touches. You think there's a player there. Yeah. Definitely a player there, but it's not happening. And when he comes on, he doesn't look... He looks like he tries to get around and he's trying to be all energetic and stuff, but whether it's a pass or a touch, it's always just off it, isn't it? And I think if he'd stayed fit, I think Gallon Doak would have got ahead of him in the pecking order.
True, yeah.
And what I will say is, apart from squad depth, are you really bothered that he's going to AFCON? I don't think anyone's bothered, really. What could end up happening in a weird way is Morocco, one of the better teams in AFCON, go there, play some minutes, score some goals. They go really far, come back, confidence. Yeah. I wonder if sometimes, an easy thing to say, I don't know if you agree, but sometimes I think, is he trying too hard here? Like, where he just chases around and then he gets it and he's trying to do like a little flick to the... Is he trying to stand out?
Whereas, has he been overcoached maybe or something?
Can he I want him to just come on and just, fire a few balls in the box. Even if he just gets the ball, just as a pot shot. And
I just want him to do a croupy.
That was maybe it was just in game and what you felt the game was going like, but interesting that we decided Unai, not Croupy, for Evan Nilsson, because he could have done either. I don't think anyone would have moaned. I don't know if he just thought later in the game he might better chuck some balls in.
A lot of people around me were saying that they wanted Evan to come off earlier than what he did, and they were claiming, they were clamouring for Croupy, but
and he went Unai instead, which was a little bit of a surprise. But
so we haven't really mentioned Trufair, but he did all right.
7 out of 10 every week.
Yeah. And Diakite,
I thought Diakite played well, yeah.
I thought he did well, and especially in that second half as well, where it looked as though they may have got through and he just swept up really nicely.
Definitely got, he's very good at that kind of getting his body across and being strong.
I just hope he how old is he?
Oh, he's a kid, mate. I think like his early 20s.
So,
mate, he's got loads of time.
He's got loads of potential.
I think the only things we've been concerned about a little bit, it's like, if he's not a ball playing centre half, it's not his fault. It's like we say, him and Senesi, I think, has got the hallmarks to potentially be a really good pairing.
Yeah.
There was just a few games where I felt he was losing his man a bit. We said it about Mateta, Haaland, it could happen to anyone. He didn't do that on this occasion at all. I thought he played well, mate. And I'm wanting to get a bit of a run on the side, a few back-to-back good performances, get his confidence
Well, this
up.
is a chance now, isn't it? It massively is. All right, then. The Sofa Score ratings. Who was your best performing statistical player for AFC Bournemouth?
Has to be Marco Selassie, surely.
Let's have a look. Let's have a
0-0
look.
draw as well. Petro.
Petro, 7.5.
I think same as their guy. I think what ends up happening in 0-0 is obviously the goalies get a mad score. So if you look at outfield, it is Celesi or their centre half really. And interesting that Semenyo got a decent reign as well. And Scott, as we mentioned, I think we've covered it quite well without looking at that because Ever was the one that was a bit poorer.
How did Garnacho get 7.0 for that?
Not a clue. Maybe he recycled it quite. I always think he's too safe anyway. Little point I mentioned about seeing Brad in the coupe after. He made a good point. He said, that Sanchez, they don't like him at Chelsea, do they really? Well, they don't rate him on the whole and they couldn't believe they let Petro go, blah, blah. Why is he always good against us?
Yes, he is.
I'm convinced, I'm pretty sure that's 3 clean sheets in a row here because I think we've drawn 0-0. We lost 1-0, Nkunku.
Yeah.
Time before was 0-0 again.
Yes, yeah.
He saved a penalty against Ever.
Yeah.
He just never concedes it.
Yeah.
Bizarre, isn't it? When a player that every time I watch him, I think, God, he's an absolute car crash. He's not when he plays us. But yeah, I think we've got to try and take the positives, mate, because I thought we were better against them last season at home. We lost 1-0.
Yeah, we were.
We had more chances. We lost 1-0. So what do you want? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sometimes we were miles better in the 2-2 in terms of attacking.
I agree, yeah.
But it was the same amount of points.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you're on a bit of a rut as well, you can't expect the players to just go out and be all free-flowing against a good Chelsea side. Sometimes you've got to go out there and earn the right and get a point. I also did like the fact that Andoni went, it's still only a point. Like, he's not buzzing.
That's right. Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
And whilst Tom was speaking then, if you've been watching YouTube, we just checked out the XG stats as well, which showed a much improved performance in terms of the stats compared to Everton. Also, passes, this just shows it. Senesi attempted the most passes in the game with 42. Tavernier attempted the most passes in the opposition's half with 21, whilst Cliver attempted the most passes in the final third with 10. We averaged 71% pass completion, the lowest at home this season. Only Truffert and Semenyo had 80% or more of the starting 11. There you go. Stats from back of the net. This is why you love it. Just wanted to talk about the atmosphere at Dean Court. It was better on Saturday, but
couldn't have been worse. We could not really kill it, but
it was so bad. This new. I've been seeing various things online. There's various people that are talking about the fact that this King's Plaza thing is going to be no more from next season or something.
Yeah.
So, sorry, next year.
Right, okay.
Next year. So, because I think they need to start the enabling works for the South Stand, which I don't know what that means for the tents, but I'm guessing they might not be there or they could be repositioned. I don't particularly know, but a lot of people have been saying hopefully that will enhance the atmosphere somewhat, maybe because you haven't got those corporate tickets being sold as such. Maybe. But I mean, I've been in the Ted Mac for the last 2. I haven't been overly impressed. Even the last time I was in the North Stand, I found it really hard as well. And what you've got at Dean Court, I don't know if like all other clubs have got this. We've got such a weird mix, right? You've got, people who go like just to home games, who sing the songs that they sing. There's also people that go home and away, like ourselves. And that there are songs that are sung away that never get sung at Dean Court. We try to, but then it always defaults to the one the home fans sing.
Yeah.
So in amongst certain members of the home and away contingent, there's almost a bit of stubbornness or a bit of like, oh no, I'm not singing to that because we sing the proper version away. So there's also a division within the North Stand. Yeah. You've got the North Stand who sing and it doesn't quite tally up with the South Stand because the South Stand sometimes have got a different array of songs completely. Do you remember a few seasons ago, the South Stand sang a song about Jordan Zamora that never...
Yeah, I said to you, I never heard it.
That never got uttered inside the North Stand. And in terms of trying to create an atmosphere, it's so difficult because the main stand and the East Stand don't join in. There's always this sort of delay that when we can hear you, we being South Stand as I was at the weekend, there's always about a 3-4 second gap, so it just sounds absolutely weird.
You know where I'm sat, like kind of row E behind the crossbar, North Stand. I have even in the North Stand alone, there's one song going off up there and another one going off up there.
So on the famous left side and then the right, and it never tallies.
No, left side go to away games, as we know.
Yeah.
So they'll sing the song that I like normally or that I'm used to. But then the Clivert one's a good example. Every away game, we sing Waka Waka for Clivert. Every home game, we sing Justin Clivert. Like, how's he got... I mean, what? It doesn't make any sense. And like we were saying, like, obviously in jest about the Celessi, so I've never heard it away.
No.
I've never heard that song away. So it is annoying because you just want an atmosphere. You take a crap song if everyone's singing it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You just want a bit of an atmosphere. And as you say, it's all just floating around and it doesn't... Unless there's like we've just scored or we've had a good bit of play and someone sings Iraola's Barmy Army and everyone starts clapping and it's an easy song to remember. But we come up with some great little songs away from home.
Yeah, we do.
And then you never hear them again.
One thing I've noticed about the North Stand is that the atmosphere is not what it was, say, like 10, 15 years ago. Maybe that's unsurprising because a lot of people, they do not want to give up their season ticket.
No,
and absolutely right to do so, of course.
Thank you.
And a lot of people have got older. They're growing a bit too long in the tooth for like doing all that kind of stuff. So they want to be part of the atmosphere, but not necessarily there creating it. And what you've got is your new up and coming fans that have had to default for the Ted Mac, who sometimes, it sounds like, pretty good in there. What you need is the best of the singers from the Ted Mac, the best from the North. And we need to create that South Stand. I don't know if that's what the club are planning, but having that as, the area that sings. So I don't know how you go about sorting that when you're a club. Like, are you an active singer? Like, do you just like to sit and clap your hands? Do you sit in the North Stand but do nothing? Those people, like the latter people, can stay where they are if they want. Sit in the North Stand's fine. Tom, you're coming with us to the South Stand, because what it also does is, do you remember at Southampton where we used to be, right next to the away, home fans that were vocal? Yeah. There was always a bit of back and forth. The atmosphere was good as a result. Last season we were there, it was worse off because we were put like diagonally opposite. Yeah. They were still where they were, and there wasn't a back and forth. So if we can be close to the away fans, we can help create a much better atmosphere. And you know what? Maybe the club doesn't need all the fireworks and pyro and loud music to make an atmosphere, when the fans will be able to do it for us. But
all got downhill since we lost the Elvis impersonator. I think, mate, that was getting it going.
You say hot.
I
think and look, there are murmurings as well of a TIFO that's being supported by Cherry's Trust. I think they're facilitating the payments or whatever, but that's a fans organised thing, and that's not going to improve the atmosphere at all, because we need people to make noise. But what hopefully it can do is help us forge an identity before the kickoff that can all be built upon. My sort of concern, though, especially on that Tuesday night, was the amount of empty seats that there were. Yeah,
I mean, it's quite obvious who you're playing. Have you noticed that? I don't know if you've noticed, for the Burnley is our next home game, and I keep getting things about hospitality.
Really?
Oh, really? They can't sell it for Burnley. Weird. What a shock. But yeah, it does always baffle me. I don't know everyone's situation. I'm very fortunate I'm very fortunate, but equally I deserve to be, because I kept my season ticket for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So I find it difficult to actually know, but all you seem to hear is how people struggle to get tickets, and then we'll play like Burnley at home, Everton at home, and there's empty seats. So there was
a chunk of seats around me for the Everton game, and even there were for the last one as well. And like you say, they're trying to flog, in some cases, some cut price hospitality as well. I'm not convinced that people are all that fussed about watching a team that's in poor form. Twin that with the weather, of course.
Yeah,
but like, you know what? If there are some seats empty, that indicates that either some people bought some tickets in October and they just didn't turn up because the weather was crap, which obviously the club can do nothing about, or they went through the process, they got them refunded, and the club put them on sale last minute and no one was really interested. If we've got that many people on the database, I don't know, some rumoured like 15,000 people waiting. Surely to God, some of these people would be buying these tickets. Like, not everyone must be like, oh no, it's dark, it's on Sky.
Yeah,
I'm not
going. Can't be.
I don't know. It just seems a bit weird. So, yeah, I feel like we're a fan base, like both in like vocality, but also attendance wise, that it's important that our team's in form.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Sometimes I do feel like, for example, the next game we've got is a Monday night football in Manchester.
Oh, we've returned a lot of our tickets.
We've returned a lot. But then I kind of go, oh, come on, it's Monday night in Manchester.
I agree with that.
And we've been in the Premier League long enough that people that like to tick rounds off have done Man United. We've beaten them.
I'll happily miss
You're not even, we always say about City, like, I don't really like Man City away, but it's like, I don't want to miss the one time we get something there. Yeah. We've done it at United. Are we really going to win for a third year in a row 3-0 up there at Christmas?
Well, Adams is back.
But I love how you said that, like he'll score 3. But yeah, you like you say, it's unlikely. So that doesn't. The league and the fixing that don't help, and like you say, weather and all that good stuff. But I'd love to just go to we've had them in the past, never been unbelievable, but I'd love to be able to just go to go to a home game and just think, God, it's bouncing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's difficult because it's got to work both ways, mate, and we haven't scored in the last few.
Well, we said this was going to be a short one, but we've probably talked the usual length, mate. But it's all been good fun. And however you have been enjoying this, either via podcast or on YouTube, thanks very much for sticking with us. Tom, it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure as always, mate. And a little weekend off, which is going to be weird.
Yeah.
Before a little Monday night, a little Christmas. I love a Christmas tradition.
Yeah,
up to Manchester. Jingle bells.
Come on. Up the chairs, and we'll see you in the next one.